Hey, my name is Valentine and I'm making 2008 style video blogs, usually just info dump about my movie God's Country, hopefully coming to theaters this year. But this time to talk about a movie I saw The TV Glow by Jane Schoenbrunn, who is this amazing trans filmmaker, one of the first trans filmmakers of our generation. As far as I know, it's basically them and Vera Drew so far. I'm hearing about other ones. I'm very excited about a lot of them. Both this movie and People's Joker blew me away. I think this movie connected with me a little more than the People's Joker did. Not that they weren't both amazing. I think it was more just the age. I think this movie was very much made by someone who's probably my exact age to the year. Some of the pop culture references they were making and some of the themes they were doing, some of what they were doing, like really, really connected with me. I can't help but watch these trans movies, but like without comparing them to my own. Like I'm totally lost in my own movie. Two, when I started making like an autobiographical, metaphoric trans movie, they didn't exist yet. So seeing other people who had the same idea around the same time, who were executing them and how they did it, and the similarities they came to. I've been watching Jane Schoenbrunn interviews on YouTube, and they are such an interesting person to listen to talk about movies. And there's a lot of things that I see they say in interviews that are things that I say that I haven't heard anyone say before. They talk about like authenticity and like not wanting to make a trans movie that's for non-trans people, like they're just trying to show we're people, I think is how they put it, which I say the exact same thing. And it's seeing like-minded individuals who've executed films that are to them somewhat autobiographical. Mine is as well. I can't help but watch these movies, and it's hard to explain, but it's really hard to explain, but it's really intense and it's really meaningful. And even if I hadn't just made a movie with many of the same themes and stylistic choices and so forth, I think this movie really would blow my way. I would say my friend Cassie saw it last week for the first time, and they said that they cried their eyes out and they wanted to see it with me. And we went the second time, and they got a little inebriated, perhaps. On some emotion enhancing whatever, and we watched it, and it was, I mean, I was just as blown away by them. They've now seen it 3 times. They saw it with their mom on Mother's Day, and seeing a movie with these sort of themes with your mom sounds not like something I would do. But like, God bless them, it's like really connecting with them. It's really making people have been seeing this movie and they're saying it's the first time they felt this way. Like people I know, my friends, like we talk about it a lot. Like we're all very into it. We're all going to see it 2 or 3 times. I don't want to like do anything spoilery about the movie other than to say like see it. It's great. It tackles some things that I've never seen in a movie before that I really related to. And it's just it's an incredibly touching, incredibly moving movie. I've never seen anything like it. I've been trying to think what to compare it to movie wise, because people will ask me about it. I don't want to spoil it, but they're like, is it a horror movie? And you're like, it's not, sorta. It uses the language of horror movies. There's definitely tonally a horror movie school of filmmaking. But I think that's not accurate. But I can't think of like another like easy genre to stick it in, which is why it's cool, obviously. I would compare it to Upstream Color, although it's much better than Upstream Color. Upstream Color, I remember I saw it at the Roxy in San Francisco, and I was waiting in line, and I heard the 2 guys in front of me were seeing it for the second time, talking to their new friend who'd seen it, and they said to their friend, this is the kind of movie you should just let it wash over you. And in the same way, I feel like that is like an accurate way to like explain what kind of movie this is. It's like a lot of scenes with vibes and energy and themes. Something that I like would like to do one day in a movie myself to some degree. There was a lot of stuff where I'm watching it and I'm like, yes. Like, yes. It looks like a music video by Alan Cardell, who's my favorite music video director. It reminds me a lot of his work. I was almost expecting to see his name at the end. The color palettes and the style, like very like a beach house music video from 2012, like that era of well, he did a lot of other stuff that's probably just what you might know. Anyway, he was not involved. It was somebody with a very similar aesthetic, and I really it was fucking beautiful. I've never seen a movie like that in theaters. I've always wanted to. I'm a big music video nerd, and to see some of the looks that I myself am like have gone apeshit over, like executed so beautifully. It was just a really touching movie, and yeah, I had a lot of feelings when I saw. I don't want to say like do any spoilers, but some of the pop culture references. There's one right at the beginning that like hooked me. Like I don't know, like Like that's some. I don't want to give it away, but it was the one that it's the show that means a lot to people like me that they reinterpreted. You could probably guess. But anyway, again, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was really meaningful, and to like really see a movie like that. Like, it's only the second movie. It's comparing it to the People's Joker has been really fun too because they're very different movies. People's Joker is very much for early transition, coming of age, superhero. Like seeing that in a theater with a bunch of Gen Z who were like in makeup, losing their mind, was like a real something to be a part of. The cheer at. Whereas this movie, I felt spoke more to people my age, for better or worse. And I had personally, although I love them both, blah blah. I'm not like, whatever. But as far as like me personally, like sitting in TV glow, like seeing a movie that seemed like it was made for me. Seemed like it was made very much for me, which is what a great film does. And hopefully people feel that way about my movie. Not to make it about that. Everything's about me. I think my point, if there is one, is don't do video blogs when you're... Never mind. Yeah, no, not to lose focus. I just really wanted to say that it's very exciting to live in a time right now where there's not one but two movies like being made like so beautifully. And also if like there is a trans film movement, I don't know if there is. I don't even know if I'm comfortable being called a trans film movement. I am, it's part of the deal. But at the same time, like I'm making a movie about, I don't know. I think being trans is interesting about me. I won't deny people seem very fascinated by it, for better or worse. But I would also say that I don't think it's the only thing about me, and I don't think it's the only thing about my movies or my work, and I don't think I made another video about like calling it a trans new wave, and I'm like, I don't have a movie out yet, so I can't say shit. You guys, you ladies or whatever, non-binary, my people, my imaginary peers, call it whatever you want. However, I don't love that name. I don't love it. But at the same time, I can't deny that when I was seeing both of these movies, they were both like very artsy and ambitious and creative in a way that like I'd be proud to be included in. That I think like both movies, say what you will, are like structurally artistic and like uncompromising. Like all things that like I also like I'm trying very hard to do. And there were a lot of things I saw in their movies that I wanted to flatter myself on some level and be like, this is an exciting thing to be a part of. If I get to be a part of it, my movie's not out yet. You know what I mean? But if I get to be a part of it and my movie's accepted to be in a year when there's never really been a trans movie before, not really, to have this ones, and there are other filmmakers. I mean, I know Mia Moore has her movie coming out this year, and I think everyone's gonna love that movie. Like, I read the script; it's amazing. Bugs has a small part in it. Like, I think that movie is going to be as powerful as some of the movies coming out. However, we don't have our movies out yet. Oh, Alice Mayo Mackay. I don't want to forget if I'm like shouting people out. Her movies are sick. She's arguably the best of all of us. She's 18, 19 years old. She has 5 feature films, all of which are awesome. Streaming on Shudder, like playing festivals. Vera Drew edited and did VFX on her last movie. Like powerhouse combo. Like Alice is legit as hell. And also one of my friends hung out with her when she came to LA. And apparently she's cool as fuck too. Apparently, she's like a rad fucking chick, like, and she's much cooler than I was at that age. She has her shit figured out. So, like, if there is it made me very excited to be making a trans movie in 2024. That's for fucking sure. I walked out of there being like, God, if I could make anyone feel like that movie made me feel, like, even a little bit, like, even a couple of people. I don't know. I really touched me, and it really got me excited. It really redoubled my passion for my own work, and like. I can't emphasize enough, like, no matter who you are, see this movie. The funniest thing about it, though, is, like, I experienced a phenomenon with my movies when I show it to cis people. They don't, like, what I think is a very straightforward movie, cis people have the most hilarious feedback I've ever heard. I just interviewed an editor myself. And, well, let me come back to that. I've been reading reviews of TV Glow, and, like, most of them are good, but some of them are, like old New York Times type film reviewers, like cis people who've never met a trans person in their life, who like don't like who their reviews are hilarious. Like it's so because like I saw it with a bunch of trans people, and afterwards we all were like, "What is there to even say?" We all get it. Like it was brilliant. What was your favorite part? But then you read like this square like cis person being like, "Ooh, it's about ambiguity, and it could be about." And it's like, okay, like that's. That's especially funny to me. Like I said, I've been dealing with that with my movie, with the early feedback. I've been auditioning an editor. I found one. I got them started. That's moving along now. I met this great girl at a live event of all places, and we've been talking. And she's editing a scene. And we're gonna see if we like it. She'll do the rest of the movie. I have a good feeling. But the last editor I interviewed was a cis woman who was so cool. But one of her feedback was she said, I'm rooting for the characters. I really like them, but I don't understand why they're so mad at the world. It's like, it's like that. One, like, I don't like them and I'm not rooting for them anyway myself. So, like, already, like it's cool that it came across that way. Like, I'm glad you like my characters. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But, like, why do these trans people are so nice, but why are they in such a bad mood about capitalism? Like, why don't they like capitalism? You should explain that. I'm like, I don't think there's a trans woman on earth. I need to explain why these trans women don't like capitalism. Google genocide. No spoilers for what'll pop up. But it's like a picture of me. I won't go too long. It's been 11 minutes. Yeah, like, so anyway, it's just meaningful and touching, and I'm rambling about it, but I'm going to see it again with my friends. I love it. 5 stars, 5 bags of popcorn, must see. Greatest trans film movie ever made. Can't wait to see their next one. Seeing the World's Fair movie with my friends. I was going to watch it immediately, but then, like, my one friend who's seen TV Glow 3 times, I'm like, I'll wait for you. We'll have World's Fair movie night. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what this person does. They are such a good filmmaker, and I hope one day, they see my work and it touches them 1% as much as it touched their work touched mine. I think that's what I want with all my movies. I have been thinking about it a lot because now that I'm seeing movies, I met Vera Drew after People's Joker, and it was really cool because she like recognized me like from being around and said I was pretty and was very nice and said some things about my movie. And her movie meant so much to me, and there were so many weird little things in her autobiography where like, hopefully, if she ever sees my movie, she'll have the same reaction of like, oh, that like, I thought I made this really specific thing, but like it's very universal. It turns out I'm a type. But like other trans filmmakers seeing my work, the more I see theirs, the more they have an impact on me, and the more they're autobiographical. Obviously, I'm making it for an audience, but I just really hope that there's very few people who get to make very expensive autobiographical movies about their transition and like share them with people, and like meeting other people or communicating or just like talking about movies. I hope we do a podcast one day. Like somebody, again, like I gotta earn it first. My movie's gotta come out. It's got to be a success first. But assuming all those things go well, I really look forward to either the trans filmmakers who made films or the trans filmmakers who haven't made films yet. Being able to like talk to somebody else about like why you get obsessed and make a movie about certain topics. What is it like? What do you see in their movies? Like what commonalities have I already started noticing really specific themes in the movies that have been coming out this year that I'd never seen in movies before, and now I've seen like 3 movies that have like really specific. What I thought when I was writing them, I thought were very original, but then you're like, oh, everyone is. It's hard to explain. Let me just say that I'm looking forward to one day getting to talk like to artists who do the same thing I do. I think it was very cool, and yeah. So anyway, see that movie. It's the shit. 5 stars. Jane Show and Run is right now the greatest of all time as far as I'm concerned. Her movie fucking rules. It is a must see. That's all. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble for 13 minutes about liking something. Just like, yeah, you like it, we get it. I don't know. It's fun to make videos.